Colin O'Rourke, during the week, fellas have been asking me, who do you think is going to win the match? And I've been saying, genuinely, I find this hard to call. So I'll tell you what, you call it.
I think it is too. One thing about it, it's a marvellous day for football. So I think if there's lots of high fielding, it will suit Mayo. They have to clamp down on Cluxton's kickouts and make sure that it's a contest rather than allowing Dublin run all over the place and drag people out of position. I don't think the changes are going to make that much difference. Macaulay, I think, is a better player than Bastick, but he hasn't had great form this year. Henley in the goals for Mayo, I don't think that will make much difference. Drake making his appearance in his first game.
Yes.
Joe thinks he'd be put on the biggest duck on the Dublin team. I don't know where he got his original joke from.
Oh, shoot.
But I think this is going to be a great contest. Two very, very experienced teams. Obviously, Mayo with the experience of losing often, but sometimes that's the incentive to win. So today I'm going for Mayo.
Well, people are expecting a good match out of this one. Joe, are you?
I am expecting a great game. I mean, I think that said that there's no curse here. Just crap defending, and that's the crucial thing for Mayo today. No doubt Drake must be going into sweep. I understand he's a wing back for his club, so he'll be going in as a double sweeper with Boyle. That's critical today, and it's critical the primary defenders stay in their men, because if they continue to hold it tight, I think that anxiety will rise with the Dubs, and O'Shea can make a huge dent here. The problem that I have with that is that since O'Shea went to full forward, Cillian O'Connor has been anonymous, because he's been used all his career to being the go-to guy. Now all of a sudden he's the second man, the Cooper, the O'Donoghue, but that requires a lot of work. That's an art in itself. With the caveat that Mayo were a little under-rehearsed at both the sweeping and the attacking in that Aidan O'Shea plan, I still think that Mayo have enough to do it, because I think Dublin have problems in their full forward line and midfield.
Mayo enough to do it, Pat?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a great game of football, possibly the game of the championship today. Yes, Mayo have improved, certainly improved up front with Aidan O'Shea, have certainly improved defensively, judging by the Donegal game with the use of the double sweepers. The big question mark, I'd say, they're now a bit over-dependent on Aidan O'Shea. Is there a plan B? I'm not too sure. Is it long enough to get this defensive system in place?
I agree that. Yeah.
I would say they're probably going to be undercooked in terms of defensive plans. Dublin haven't played a Division 1 team since April, but I think they're coming in under the radar. I think they were caught in the hop last year. I think they're more focused this year. I think up front with Kilkenny and Rock, they're a better forward line, and I think they're less naive and innocent in defence. They have a zonal defence in defence. Keane O'Sullivan sitting back as sweeper. If Dublin bring their A game, which I believe they will, I think they have the pace and athleticism and the forward scoring power to beat Mayo.
Well, one thing that I can tell you for definite is there is a fantastic atmosphere here at Croke Park. A packed house, obviously, for this semi-final. I am looking forward to it. And I'm so too our commentary team of Desi Dolan and Darragh Maloney.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, it is a very special place to be, Croke Park on the north side of Dublin City, as the two teams get ready for battle, the 11th championship meeting of Dublin and Mayo. And just watching as the teams parade around as they reach various parts of the stadium, the supporters sitting will all stand up to welcome them. It's a very impressive sight. There aren't too many empty seats around. The first sellout of the summer, on the last weekend of the summer, 82,000 people packed into Croke Park to see who will play Kerry in the All-Ireland final on the 20th of September. How tested have Dublin been in their run to the semi-final? They were caught by Donegal and in some style in last year's semi-final. Mayo, how will they deal with the hype? They've never had too many problems dealing with the atmosphere on Hill 16. They seem to thrive under it, even though they lost the last championship meeting between the two in 2013. A very interested spectator, the Kerry manager, Eamon Fitzmaurice, as Kerry wait to meet them in the final. Desi Dolan, this is special.
Yeah, the atmosphere is incredible. It's the only show in town. It has the ingredients to be a classic. They're massive matchups today. Aidan O'Shea, Rory O'Carroll, Lee Keegan, Jeremy Connolly, and plenty more. Lots of tactical battles that'll intrigue everyone, and I'm sure Eamon Fitzmaurice will be keeping a tight eye on that. You see Barry Moran gone already. That's a big call. He suited the Donegal game. He didn't suit it today. He's gone. But it should be a classic. Dublin have learned an awful lot from last year's defeat to Donegal in the semi-final. It's set up nicely.
And you can see the players, well, they just want the ball to be thrown in now. A couple of minutes away from the start of the second All-Ireland senior football semi-final. Pat Holmes, well, loved a surprise or two when he was manager of Castlebar. And that certainly is what they've given us with the inclusion of David Drake. Barry Moran taken out of the starting 15. There's no massive surprise in Michael Darragh Macaulay starting for Dublin, the former footballer of the year has worked very hard to get back to full fitness. And the teams now break away ahead of the anthems and also ahead of a very special moment's silence here in Croke Park. We are almost ready to go. The conditions absolutely perfect. There's a gentle breeze blowing down towards Hill 16, and now we will have the minute silence in memory of Dara Doherty, who represented Mayo and Kilmaine with distinction, winning an All-Ireland minor medal in 2013. For Govan Joliffe Byrne, a valued member of the Naomh Marnoe Club in Dublin, where he won numerous honours, and Peter Hughes, Conal Havern and Gavin Sloan, who all played Gaelic football in Armagh and Down, and also Daniel Rush of Kilmovee Shamrocks, who passed away in Adelaide, originally a young man from Mayo.
And we also remember Daniel Rush from the Kilmovee Shamrocks Club in Mayo, who died suddenly in Australia. All five lost their lives in tragic circumstances recently, and Common Newcastle Player offered his condolences to their families and friends. Godi Godia, Suibna Shiri, Don Anamaka. Anishakarja, Arana Vian, Akasadoyan, Ekbanakura, Aragana.
Wow, Dublin and Mayo meet for a place in the All-Ireland final. It's a beautiful day. There's big focus and big attention on that young man, Aidan O'Shea. Mayo won the toss. They will attack Hill 16 in the first half. Joe McQuillan of Cavan is the referee. His linesman today, Conor Lane and Barry Cassidy. The sideline official is Fergal Barry. MDMA, Michael Dara McCauley, restored to the team alongside young Brian Fenton in his first championship season, his first All-Ireland semi-final. And Aidan O'Shea gone out to midfield for the start of this match alongside Tom Parsons. So Rory O'Carroll is picking up Cillian O'Connor. They say this could be a classic. It's written all over it. Off we go. Dublin against Mayo. Tom Parsons with possession. He had 33 possessions against Donegal, didn't kick it once. Here's Aidan O'Shea starting out at midfield. Colin Boyle. Seamus O'Shea. Gap opens up in front of Seamus O'Shea. David Drake is available in front of him, number 19. Seamus O'Shea still in possession. Kevin McLaughlin. A slip by Johnny Cooper. Dublin have plenty back. Mayo owning the ball in the first few seconds of this semi-final. Tom Parsons. Diarmuid O'Connor. Jack McCaffrey in front of him. O'Connor been forced wide. A little isolated, has helped though. Tom Parsons, Aidan O'Shea. There's a tussle off the ball, and now it's Lee Keegan who's forward again for the first point of the semi-final. Great period of possession. They held onto the ball for close to a minute, and Lee Keegan, as he did in the semi-final, topping the ball over the bar. Mayo by 1 point to no score.
And that's a great score by Lee Keegan, the third highest score for Mayo this year's championship, but showing his quality. Great start to the game. Dublin showing plenty back in defence on that occasion, but Lee Keegan carved out the space.
It was Kevin McLaughlin and Johnny Cooper who were hugging on the ground. Cooper goes back to Stephen Cluxton. Brian Fenton. Johnny Cooper. Paul Flynn. They say he's due a big game. Flynn blocked down by Colin Boyle. Here's Diarmuid Connolly, ran into Bernard Brogan. Mayo surround Diarmuid Connolly, looking for options. He's kicked that one straight into the chest of Robbie Hennelly. Scoring opportunity goes a-begging, never got hold of it, Diarmuid Connolly. And Connolly not letting Aidan O'Shea out easily. Donald Vaughan. Keane O'Sullivan sweeping back in behind Kevin McLaughlin. The ball has gone wide. Frantic start, Desi.
Yeah, interesting to note. Diarmuid Connolly has gone into the full forward line there, picking up Ger Cafferty. So it's a tactic Dublin have, keeping them in there. And what they're doing is, when the numbers come back, he's going out to the half-forward line trying to pick up possession.
Look at Rory O'Carroll in trouble. We're not sure what exactly happened to the Dublin fullback.
I think himself and Cillian O'Connor might have had a little bump into each other, getting to know each other early.
Philly McMahon just having a word with the referee. Well, now 3 medics on to try and stop the flow of blood. That's Michael Fitzsimons, should they need him. And I think they will, because Rory O'Carroll is being led off the field. So Michael Fitzsimons on as a blood sub. And Stephen Cluxton looking up the field. You can see by that gesture he's not at all happy with the options ahead of him. Johnny Cooper has got another possession from a Cluxton kick out, and again they go back with it. And they found Brian Fenton very good in the air, and Fenton hit hard by Tom Parsons. Free Dublin. Philly McMahon letting it in long. Here's Paul Flynn, he's got it. Gets away from the cover. Flynn has broken inside. He was dragged back. Is that a penalty? Is it a penalty? Oh, yes, it is. He was caught just as he had tried to kick the ball. And Joe McQuillan was onto it like a flash. Dublin have a penalty. Watch.
Great catch there by Paul Flynn, taking on his man. And it was David Drake back there. Didn't look comfortable, and it looked like a definite penalty. Good call by Joe McQuillan.
So, Diarmuid Connolly. He scored 1 penalty in Championship 2015. Make that 2. Really good finish. Hennelly went the right way.
Great finish by Diarmuid Connolly. A very composed player. He was delighted with that. Great start.
Huge kick from Hennelly. That's one of his serious strengths, but it's won cleanly in the air by Brian Fenton. Keane O'Sullivan. Jack McCaffrey. David Drake in front of him. Diarmuid O'Connor trying to get back to close down the space. McCaffrey is still going. Kieran Kilkenny was fouled by Tom Parsons.
2 massive hits there, Dara.
Is there a card coming?
Well, Donald Vaughan has gone down with a heavy knock on the shoulder. It looks like he could have done an AC joint just like that. He went down straight away, but then Tom Parsons went in very heavy. 2 big tackles there.
What colour is the card? It's a yellow for Tom Parsons. Here it is again.
Yeah, you can see it there, running through. Great pace, Jack McCaffrey, but it was full-on tackle by Donald Vaughan there. And he's getting medical treatment. He still looks a bit injured on that occasion.
So from just outside the 45-metre line, Dean Rock will take the free. Didn't catch it, and that's not a good start for a free taker. Wasn't a good contact.
Poor kick there, and people might question his role. Like, he's a great free taker, but he just needs a bit more from play. He scored a goal in 52 in the league, but certainly he'd be expected to get shots like that.
Chris Barrett taking the possession from the kick out, but it's been lost, and another foul against the Mayo cover. Here's Jack McCaffrey. Ridiculous pace, not a good hand pass though, and David Drake has it. Chris Barrett from Belmullet. Poor decision, and Mick Fitzsimons plays the 1-2 with Michael Darragh Macaulay. Rory O'Carroll is still off the field of play, receiving treatment to that wound above his eye. Kieran Kilkenny. It's been played at a frantic pace. Bernard Brogan, there were 3 Mayo men around him as that came in. Colin Boyle, one of them. Dermot O'Connor covers an average of 14 kilometres a game. It's an incredible statistic. Keith Higgins runs into trouble, has help from Ger Cafferty and Chris Barrett. Now Colin Boyle. Lee Keegan. Seamus O'Shea. They've worked hard to get to this area of the field, and Seamus O'Shea launches it in towards Aidan, who's gone in at full forward. Easy catch though for Stephen Cluxton, and he is fouled on the way out.
Yeah, Stephen gets it here. Aidan O'Shea straight in. It was a poor ball in from Seamus O'Shea, but Stephen and him get a bit tangled up there. Bit of a loose foot there by Stephen.
Mayo are thinking about a substitution already as Paul Flynn launches it long in towards Bernard Brogan. He's caught it. Brogan for Dublin. Barrett is there with him. Paddy Andrews, tricky angle. He's got his point.
Great play there by Bernard Brogan. Releases it. Paddy Andrews is a player I really rate. I wish he got more game time for Dublin, but he's a great finisher.
Well, it's a problem with Donald Vaughan, and he has gone off, and he's replaced by Patrick Durkin.
Yeah, you can see there he took a heavy knock on the shoulder. I'm not surprised with that. He ran into Jack McCaffrey early in the game and never recovered.
Well, that is a blow for Mayo, no question about it, with Donald Vaughan having to go off. Patrick Durkin, his 3rd substitute appearance of the year. Mayo got the first point of the game in the opening minute.
A lot of heavy hits going in so far there. It's a cagey affair. Both teams playing very defensive.
David Drake. Kevin McLaughlin, Johnny Cooper, in his face. Here's the first touch for Patrick Durkin. Diarmuid O'Connor. Tom Parsons does get to kick it, and it's in towards Cillian O'Connor, but it's a poor delivery. Second time they've launched it in long. It hasn't worked on either occasion, but they only need to get it to work once. Jack McCaffrey. Here goes James McCarthy. He's not exactly slow, is he? Angles the ball out to Dean Rock. Paddy Andrews. Jack McCaffrey. Now Brian Fenton to his right is Diarmuid Connolly. That's where he's gone. Connolly lines it up. He's got it. That is a corker of a score from Diarmuid Connolly. A goal and a point for the Vincent Span. 1-2-1 in the 12th minute.
Yeah, and all these counter-attacks are coming from poor kicked in by Mayo. Tactically, it's not working, but giving Diarmuid Connolly a shot from that angle, he'll kick them all day long, and you can't give him that space.
Seamus O'Shea from Brafey. Keith Higgins. Tom Parsons. Jason Doherty. Lee Keegan. Scored Mayo's only point. Cillian O'Connor. Michael Fitzsimon's with him. Cillian O'Connor goes himself. Couldn't get it past Stephen Cluxton, and the ball moved up the field very quickly. Diarmuid Connolly. Not easy to dispossess, but he's made a mistake. Here's Keith Higgins. Can Mayo capitalise on that error? Aidan O'Shea is there, but it's come back to Cian O'Sullivan. And O'Sullivan is fouled. Just tugged back by Aidan O'Shea. And they're moving again. Really good work by Diarmuid O'Connor, but same can be said for Michael Darragh Macaulay. That's a Dublin free. It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Paddy Andrews out in front of David Drake. Bernard Brogan close to him. Brogan gets the shot away, but it's... well, has it gone over? Looked like it was going to come short, but it just had enough legs. 1-3-1. Bernard Brogan opens his account.
And people might have been sure, but he was sure. 5-16 already in the championship, and that's what he does. Brilliant player, brilliant finisher. And Dublin very quick to get the restarts back in the game. Mayo are struggling to deal with it.
Here's David Drake. They could do with a score just to settle down again. They have got a free. And now in the 13th minute of the game, you can hear that moments and minutes applause in memory of the former Mayo minor star Darragh Doherty from Kilmaine, who famously wore number 13 in the All-Ireland minor final 2 years ago. Mayo have a free in.
And a definite free. Here you see it, Aidan O'Shea out in front of Philly McMahon. He's taken all that, with James McCarthy left the foot in there. A lot of stuff going on off the ball between himself and Philly McMahon. Referee having a word with Philly there.
Cillian O'Connor slots it over. It's their first score in 13 minutes.
You're seeing Stephen getting another kick out there. A lot of talk before the game about his kick outs. He's winning, he's getting all his kick outs out. So Mayo, they are letting him have the kick out, which is unusual. I taught myself to press up high on the kick outs.
Brian Fenton held up by Kevin McLaughlin, Michael Darragh Macaulay, Johnny Cooper. James McCarthy. Back over again to Johnny Cooper. Paul Flynn. Off goes Colin Boyle. Tom Parsons. Dermot O'Connor. Nick Fitzsimons there with him. Advantage being played. Dermot O'Connor dropped it short, but they've got a free in, and Dermot O'Connor has gone down injured.
Yeah, and if there's one thing I'd say about Michael Fitzsimons, he has a tendency to foul. I've marked him on a couple of occasions myself, but Johnny Cooper came in there, you see it, and that's a heavy knock from Dermot O'Connor, and that'll hurt.
It did. Well, the referee, Joe McCullen, has taken action against Johnny Cooper for that late challenge.
Johnny Cooper
got a yellow card.
He's really up for the game today. He's been involved with a couple of scraps with Kevin McLaughlin off the ball, and he's not shy in coming in there either. Like, that was a heavy knock, and I'd be surprised if Dermot doesn't have a dead leg on that occasion.
Well, he's okay, Dermot O'Connor, and now it's Killian's turn from the place ball. Trying to draw it in. He's hit that beautifully. Gap closes. Again, that angled kick out. He's gone to that corner nearly every time, does he?
Yeah, it's a tactic. It's simple. He's no pressure. He's composed, and I'm just so surprised. You see Mayo have a man back, and that's the consequence now, giving Stephen free kick outs. And when you do that, Dublin will counter-attack at pace.
And when the ball goes into motion and gets back to Cluxton, there's a different set of problems for Mayo to try and cover. Here comes another problem for them. Jack McCaffrey, Philly McMahon, Bernard Brogan is in, closest to goal, being marked by Chris Barrett. That is poor from Dublin, and it gives Mayo back possession, and Dermot O'Connor gets away from Michael Darragh Macaulay very easily. Has to go back for support. Aidan O'Shea still hanging around in midfield. Here comes David Drake. Drake is closed down but still has possession. 3-4 Dublin players close to him, and David Drake has fouled the ball.
Yeah, and that's
totally isolated.
Absolutely, no one up there supporting. There was 4 men around him. Aidan O'Shea has gone out the field looking for soft ball. Dublin have loads of men back, and they're struggling at the minute to just get the ball up the pitch.
Kieran Kilkenny. Paul Flynn. There's that angle ball they love into the chest of Paddy Andrews. Bernard Brogan makes a move towards him. Paddy Andrews looking for his second point, and you know what? He's got it.
Great score. And that all came from the angle pass from Kieran Kilkenny. A fabulous pass, and that's what splits open defences. But Mark and Keith Higgins, he turned them very easily, and he would get great. He was delighted with himself on that occasion, because taking on Keith, he's such a tough, tight defender. Great finish as well.
Colin Boyle of Davits, Lee Keegan from Westport. There's a gap there. And James McCarthy shut the door in his face, but he fouled him. McCarthy is not convinced that it was a free at all, and then there's some stuff afterwards. And for dissent, it's moved even closer to the Dublin goal. Oh, Killian O'Connor was going to take that quickly. But there's all sorts of jostling and pushing and dragging going on off the ball.
It's real high-stakes stuff. You see it there. I haven't seen a referee change his mind so far. But James McCarthy was adamant he was dived on that occasion. But that's what they need. They need Lee Keegan driving up the pitch.
Cillian O'Connor, 3 successive frees. Brings it back to 3 again.
And that's it. You wouldn't say there was much in it. And an important one. But all these frees are bringing Mayo back. They're not playing that well, but certainly all these frees are bringing it back.
So again, Stephen Cluxton has a kick-out return to him. Paul Flynn able to get free. There goes that ball again. Bernard Brogan has got it. Brilliant take from Bernard Brogan. Barrett there with him. Kieran Kilkenny is through. Kieran Kilkenny takes his point. The goal was gaping in front of him. Decided to fist it over.
And again, Bernard Brogan in front of Ger Cafferty. Kieran Kilkenny splits the defence. He's been excellent this year. He's really come of age for Dublin. Got over all them cruciate injuries, but he's having a fine season so far.
Mayo, as you saw, favouring that short-angled kick out to at least secure possession. Now it's bombed in long towards Aidan O'Shea. He's got it. McCarthy there with him. Also Keane O'Sullivan. Philly McMahon. Is there a way through? Not legally anyway, and he held on to it too long.
That was unlucky. In fairness, there was 3 men, there was a lot of attack, a lot of pressure on him. You'd think the referee would give him an advantage, try to get free. It was fabulous play by him, but I thought he was unfortunate on that occasion.
He caught it well under serious pressure.
They will get joy.
Yep.
Philly McMahon is on him. Rory O'Carroll has gone off injured. They will get joy on that ball, but the ball has to be kicked in properly to Aidan O'Shea.
Philly McMahon and Aidan O'Shea, it's a height mismatch for a start. But McMahon, a very tight marker. Seamus O'Shea wins a free. David Drake of Mayo. Jason Doherty. Tom Parsons screaming for it, but they launch it in long towards Aidan O'Shea. Philly McMahon behind him. Cluxton comes to claim and just nudges the ball forward to Paddy Andrews, almost playing as a right cornerback. Dean Rock quickly back to Brian Fenton. Forced into the mistake, he held onto it too long, and now Lee Keegan has it for Mayo, and he's fouled. Lost count of the frees. A very stop-start at times.
Yeah, we've talked about a classic before the game. Everyone talked it up as an open, expansive game of football, but you would have to say it's been stop-start. A lot of heavy tackles and a lot of niggly stuff and a lot of stuff going on off the ball.
Does sound like a classic. Aidan O'Shea. There were 2 Dublin players around him there. He's still got it. Hops off Michael Darrell McCauley. And then fouled. Free in Mayo, and for dissent again against Diarmuid Connolly, the ball has moved forward.
Yeah, you see Aidan O'Shea, there's no stopping him. You have to tackle him when he saw one. He did catch his hand. If he did catch his hand, that's a free. It was a soft free, but Philly McMahon is a mismatch on Aidan O'Shea. Really is. You'd expect a change there, because since Philly has gone on to him, Aidan O'Shea has come more and more into this game.
Well, there's 4 points between the team. Mayo's last 3 scores have all been from frees. They've all been converted by Cillian O'Connor, and he'll fancy this one as well. But that indiscipline from the Dublin defenders is keeping Mayo in touch.
At this level, you wouldn't expect it. I presume Jim Gavin is telling his players, keep it disciplined. That was a tricky free, 40, 45 yards out. Brought it very simple for a man of Cillian O'Connor's standard.
Both teams have conceded 9 frees each, and the free count, which was very heavily against Dublin, in the quarter-final, was commented on a lot by Jim Gavin afterwards. Patrick Durkin, and here come Mayo. They're growing in confidence. There they go long again. This time it's towards, well, Cillian O'Connor was in close with Aidan O'Shea. How did he manage to win the ball there, Aidan O'Shea? And now it's Cillian O'Connor for Mayo. From a difficult angle, dispossessed by Michael Fitzsimons. That was perfectly timed, just as O'Connor was about to pull the trigger.
Brilliant tackle there for Michael Fitzsimons. At a crucial stage, you would expect a certain score, and it was a brilliant, clean tackle. Great defending.
At the moment, there's no sign of Rory O'Carroll coming back in. Dennis Bastick is warming up for Dublin at the moment. Along with Kevin McManaman. Here's James McCarthy. Diarmuid Connolly's penalty, their first score of this match in the 5th minute. The difference between the teams. Michael Dara McCauley. Brian Fenton. Just out of picture, Colin Boyle dropping back in front of Bernard Brogan. Is he going to be close enough? Robbie Hennelly out. And it took an unusual bounce, but Colin Boyle able to snuff out the danger, but he's challenged by Diarmuid Connolly. Referee says it was a foul though. Free out.
And Mayo are doing extremely well, getting the numbers back. Dublin are finding it hard to break down in front of that 45-yard line. On a couple of occasions the long ball has worked, but certainly Colin Boyle has been effective on front of that full back line.
Lee Keegan. Not great from Seamus O'Shea. Kieran Kilkenny running into space. In front of him is Patrick Durkin of Mayo. Kilkenny will have to do it himself. And that kind of responsibility doesn't bother him at all. He's been really good.
Great finish by Kieran Kilkenny. I mentioned one-on-one, Colin Boyle didn't get over on that occasion. Diarmuid O'Connor was trying to get back, but when you leave someone one-on-one at this level, you would expect him to take him on and to finish, and that's exactly what he's doing all season long.
Had to take it on himself because Connolly and Rock had both drifted out the field, and Bernard Brogan as well. So 4 points between them again. Mayo scoring just 1 point from play, and they're not going to add to that tally anytime soon with passes like that. Second one in quick succession going astray from Seamus O'Shea, but perhaps they could make something from this. Here's Aidan O'Shea. Jason Doherty. Cillian O'Connor in closest to the Dublin goal. Jason Doherty isolated, over-carried the ball again. They've done that several times in the match. Players getting isolated, too many Dublin defenders around, and it leads to the inevitable free out.
And that's something they're going to have to look at half-time. They're getting caught in possession up front. Dublin have 3 or 4 men back. It's very simple, but Seamus O'Shea kicking 2 long balls away. It's all too simple right now for Dublin.
Fergus Keane O'Sullivan has been up the field all afternoon, and he's fouled. Kieran Kilkenny hoisting that in the air from Michael Dara McCauley. Colin Boyle sweeps across in front of him. Bernard Brogan. Brogan hardly had time to look at the post. Well, it's gone wide. That's their second wide. Mayo have only kicked 1. Mick Deegan and Jim Gavin. Cillian O'Connor. Here's Keith Higgins. Aidan O'Shea back in it full forward. Beautiful ball. He's got it, Aidan O'Shea. Is there a foul on Aidan O'Shea? Well, he's isolated. He's on the ground, and the referee's going to give the free out.
That's a big call, Darren. That is a massive call. Initially, I thought there was a little pull there on Philly McMahon when he first got it. You see it here. Hand over the shoulder. Kind of went down. It's a tough call for the referee. He's such a powerful man. He's hard to stop.
But he caught another one. He didn't get the penalty.
Yeah, initially it was when the first contact was made, I thought it could have been a penalty.
Seen them given, as they say. But as the half has gone on, that high ball into the full forward line is working more. That's a jersey pull clearly by Cian O'Sullivan on Dermot O'Connor. Another free in coming. And Cian O'Sullivan will have to have a chat with the referee for this.
He knew what he's doing. We've seen something similar with Mark O'Shea last week. That was a, as they say, a professional foul. He pulled the jersey back. He was inside his line. Very similar to what we've seen from Mark O'Shea, so it will be interesting to see what happens.
And there's no conversation with the referee.
And then you wonder, Dara, why people get frustrated.
Cian O'Connor again for his and Mayo's 5th successive point. Another one gone over. They've scored just one from play.
And all these frees are keeping them in the game, and it's not as if they're playing exceptionally well, but Aidan O'Shea is getting into the game a bit more. And Dublin have been sloppy at times getting that ball in. Colin Boyle has been effective, but you wouldn't say it's been a classic. Here we go again, another short kick out.
Breaks down. David Drake. Patrick Durkin. Dermot O'Connor for their 2nd from play. Wide though. Did open up for him.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that. It was an opportunity, and you see Mayo getting a bit of joy. They're tackling extremely well on the 45. Donny Buckley does an awful lot of work and turning over the ball and dispossessions, and they're doing that well. But unfortunately, Jamer kicked the wide on that occasion.
Now Michael Fitzsimon's having to go back, as they've done many a time. It's a different kick-out strategy. We thought there was something in the air in the build-up to the game, and
yeah, everything has been so easy for Stephen Cluxon. He hasn't to think about a kick-out today. Everything going short, and I suppose it's very easy for him, and it's teeing up the defenders, the wings-backs, to get on possession.
And here they are attacking with Paddy Andrews and now Jack McCaffrey. Michael Darragh Macaulay, that green and red wall in front of him. Kieran Kilkenny has space to get the shot away. And he's done just that, and he's had a really excellent game.
Yeah,
he's got their last 3, Desi.
But we've talked about it. You're inviting the likes of Jack McCaffrey up the pitch, and Kieran Kilkenny has been excellent. He's got them with the right, he's fisted them over the bar, and now he's got it on the left. He has it all. He's an exceptional footballer.
We're told there'll be 2 minutes to be added on at the end of the first half. It's a foul by Bernard Brogan.
Oh, he took a heavy enough knock there. See it there.
And Chris Barrett.
It's kind of subdued at times there. It's a bit of a lull. You wouldn't say the crowd are going wild here with the atmosphere. A lot of the times it's been slow, it's been soft start, there's been a lot of frees, it's been defensive. Certainly not the classic just at the minute.
Well, neither manager, neither team will care if they win. And if they're back here next month playing Kerry. Colin Boyle. Brian Fenton there, and Boyle tried to do a Lee Keegan on it, but he didn't succeed.
The slow build-up again, Darren.
Yeah.
Mayo retreated, lots of men back. You see Colin Boyle orchestrating, lads. Diarmuid O'Connor is back. And Dublin slow to get up the pitch on this occasion.
Well, just hanging on to it, and Mayo players now having to come forward to try and put pressure on their Dublin opponents. Michael Fitzsimons, Cian O'Sullivan. Keith Ball. Paddy Andrews. Off goes Paul Flynn. In long towards Bernard Brogan, Robbie Hennelly. Now there seemed to be a slight mix-up there, but Hennelly was always in charge. It was Chris Barrett who got in his way. Diarmuid O'Connor. Can Mayo tack on a point before the end of the half? They've 15 seconds to do it. Here's Tom Parsons. Parsons launches it in towards Cillian O'Connor. Michael Fitzsimon's got a touch. Free in.
Yeah, James McCarthy there again. Very disappointed with that. And that all came from a really poor ball from Paul Flynn. Kicked it 60 or 70 yards in. Loads of men back. Picking up the yellow for the second foul there. Careless. At this level, you don't concede frees. I'm sure they've talked about the influence Cillian O'Connor can have on any match, but he's kicked a lot of very simple scores.
Well, he's kicked 5 of them. And they're keeping Mayo nicely in touch for the perfect 6. And that is what he's got, Cillian O'Connor. And there is the whistle for the end of the first half. Cillian O'Connor's frees, keeping Mayo up there with Dublin. They've lost Donal Vaughan with a shoulder injury. Dermot Connolly's penalty was Dublin's first score of the game. Aidan O'Shea has caught a few. He's got a little bit of joy out of the Dublin cover towards the end of the half. But they've scored Mayo just once from play. It's been tight, it's been tense, it's been extremely tactical, and it's set up very nicely for the second half. At the break, Dublin lead Mayo by 1-7 to 7 points. Analysis from Michael and his panel after the break.